Welcome back to the Sage Audio channel. Today we'll be taking a look at our picks for the top 10 monitor controllers. We'll discuss their functionality, connectivity, and what they might be best suited for. Additionally, we'll include the price of each, as well as compare and contrast their unique features. Also, keep in mind that this list is in no particular order, so be sure to stick around for the full video. First, if you're an artist, engineer, or producer, and you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us at sageaudio.com. We'll master it for you and send you a free mastered sample of it. All you gotta do is set up the short account, upload the song, and we can do the rest. Up first is Shadow Hills Industries Equinox Summing Mixer and Monitor Controller. Unlike the other entries that we'll discuss later on, the Equinox Summing Mixer and Monitor Controller can do a lot more than simply offer monitoring options. Now granted, its monitoring is just as complex as other top-of-the-line monitoring controllers, but we should also consider some of its additional functionality. In addition to a rotary knob which allows you to select 3 sets of speakers and a mono output selector, the Equinox includes 2 microphone preamps, 30 analog inputs that can be summed into left and right outputs, and a selectable transformer section. The left and right output channels include a respective pad and phase inverter. Additionally, the microphone preamps include direct outputs that can be routed as needed. Up next is the SBL MC16 Mastering Monitor Controller. This unit is a truly unique monitor controller that allows studios to step forward into multi-channel monitoring. Up to 16 channels of monitoring mean that you can monitor complex sources outside the realm of typical stereo mixes. The output section allows you to monitor up to 16 speakers, while 3 presets allow you to quickly switch between multiple monitor configurations. Solo, mute, and dim buttons on the front cover some monitoring basics, while the rotary indicates greater than 80 dB of dynamic range. Lastly, 2 input buttons on the front allow you to switch between 2 incoming signal paths via individual sets of your monitor's inputs. Up next is the Grace Design M908 Surround Monitor Controller. The Grace Design M908 Surround Monitor Controller is perhaps the most versatile and expansive monitor controller on this list. The connectivity alone is enough to cover any studio for the next 20 plus years. Now, whether your setup is analog or digital, you'll be able to configure your routing into and out of the Grace Design M908 Surround. Now, being a surround sound monitor controller, your output can range from a simple 2-to-1 configuration to an incredible 22-to-2 speaker setup, and that's 22 speakers and 2 subs. Now this makes the Grace Design M908 Surround Monitor Controller perfect for any studio that works both on music and television or film applications. It also makes your studio capable of creating and monitoring media outside the realm of traditional entertainment. Additional cue paths and a talkback makes the controller capable of handling tracking and overdub sessions, while channel level and delay calibration allow engineers to dial in the perfect settings to avoid latency or phase cancellation. A new clocking system and revised A to D converters from previous models like the M904 provide an incredibly clean and transparent and accurate signal. Up next is the Cranesong Avocet 2A Monitor Controller. The Cranesong Avocet 2A monitor controller is a popular monitor controller for a reason. Seen on studio desks in many reputable studios, this monitor controller is both flexible and practical, allowing for advanced monitoring and an accurate sound. 3 analog and 3 digital inputs and outputs, as well as advanced monitoring options via a controller, make it a viable option for most studios. Additionally, linking is an option if more inputs or outputs are needed. On the controller, you can select mono, dim, mute, or phase inversion. From the same controller, you can switch between 3 sets of monitors, as well as individually monitor the left, right, and center or mid channels. Your digital and analog inputs are available from this controller, as is a talkback function for communication during tracking. Up next, we have the Coleman Audio M3PH Mark III Monitor Controller. On the front panel is a headphones input and rotary next to the monitor level rotary. 4 control room source buttons allow you to quickly change between inputs, while alternate speaker sections allow you to switch between your pairs of monitors. Mono, phase inversion, and left and right channel isolation is also available via this front panel. On the back panel is 8 mono or 4 stereo inputs and 3 sets of stereo outputs for your monitors. The level rotary is accurate within 0.05 dB, resulting in a balanced listening environment. Next is the SPL MTC monitor and talkback controller. This monitor controller allows for 3 sets of speakers which can easily be switched via 3 buttons on the front panel. Next to these buttons is a DIM, a mono, and an HP or headphones button, adding to the unit's flexibility. The inputs can be selected from this front panel as well, with 6 stereo inputs in total, 4 of which are balanced and 2 are unbalanced. A built-in talkback function and mic, as well as 3 separate cue mixes for tracking, make the unit even more versatile. The talkback function can also be turned on via a separately sold foot switch. Now, just as importantly, the routing in this controller is entirely analog, meaning that reducing the volume of your monitors does not reduce the bit depth. In turn, you retain the full dynamic range of your mixes and masters, even when monitoring at lower levels. Next is the Antelope Audio Satori Analog Monitoring and Summing System. As the name suggests, this unit is also great for summing multiple sources, up to 8 analog channels, and converting them using Antelope's custom D-to-A and A-to-D converters. As for monitoring, 8 stereo inputs and 4 stereo outputs give engineers some options. Up to 4 sets of monitors can easily be selected via the front panel of this device or with the remote controller, which is also included in this bundle. 4 headphone outputs are available on the rack-mounted unit with 2 on the front and 2 on the back panel, yet the rest of the functionality is available on both the controller and the remote controller. This includes mono, DIM, and mid-side monitoring options with a sub-button to isolate the sub-speaker. Talkback options are available on both units, as are the internal microphones needed for talkback. Additionally, a digital version of the interface is available and can sync with your hardware, making it easy to adjust your monitoring from your digital workstation. Next is Dangerous Music Monitor ST. The Dangerous Music Monitor ST gives you the best of both analog circuitry and digital control. The unit is comprised of completely analog routing, while the remote connects via an Ethernet port. In other words, any changes that you make via the remote control occur in the actual analog unit, not digitally or internally within the remote. Being analog controlled via digital processing, the remote is completely programmable with up to 4 separate banks. The remote allows you to solo your left, your right, or center channel, as well as dim the full signal. From the remote, you can also select your main speakers and 2 alternate sets. Furthermore, you can select 4 separate analog inputs. On the controller, you'll notice a headphone output and a respective level rotary for quick headphone monitoring, as well as your remote talkback mic. Lastly, additional cue output and auxiliary inputs give engineers extra flexibility and the ability to cue in musicians during a tracking or overdub session. Next is Burl Audio B26 Orca. Like the Coleman Audio M3PH Mark III, the Burl Audio B26 Orca is a bit more simplistic in its design, but still offers enough functionality to make the purchase worth it. 3 stereo mix inputs, 2 stereo returns, a stereo RCA input, and 2 stereo outputs for monitoring provide engineers with some options. The monitoring outputs have been split between a studio side, which is meant more for sending signals to a tracking room, and the control side, used for sending signals to the control room. The control room monitoring is more accurate than the studio side due to a 0.1% matched resistor associated with the stepped attenuator or volume rotary. Additional outputs include metering outputs used to measure the loudness of the signal. 2 headphone outputs are available as well, with the control room headphone output following the stepped attenuator, while the headphone output on the studio side has its own rotary. It should be noted that the headphone output on the control room side is still more accurate, as its amplification is associated with the 0.1% matched resistor. Next is Grace Design M905 Analog Reference Monitor Controller. Last up is the Grace Design M905, a scaled-down version of the previously listed Grace Design M908 surround monitor controller. Although this model isn't capable of performing 22.2 surround sound, it does support the same converters, low jitter word clock, and advanced connectivity if you do choose the analog and digital version. The strictly analog version has less connectivity. The M905's remote control has mute, sub-mute, dim, and mono options, as well as 3 speaker options. A talkback microphone is built into the remote control, but you can connect a different talk microphone to the back of the panel of the unit. Within the digital interface of the remote control, you can alter the calibration settings, as well as pick your clock source, your level offset, and change a multitude of other settings. So these are our picks for the top 10 monitor controllers, but what do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Also, if you're an artist or an engineer, send us one of your mixes at sageaudio.com. We'll master it for you and send you a free mastered sample. All you gotta do is set up this short account, upload the song, and we can do the rest. But thank you so much for watching. We really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and share this video with your friends. This way we know if you'd like to see more videos like this one. Also, you can subscribe to the channel. We release new videos every week, and subscribing is the best way to stay up to date. There's a comment section where you can leave your thoughts on this video or make a suggestion for a future video. And again, if you're an artist or an engineer and you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us at sageaudio.com. We'll master it for you and send you a free mastered sample. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.